Hey guys, welcome back to Soar with Nessa. Today I will be walking you through the step-by-step process of obtaining a H2B visa and to be eligible to work in the United States. But before I get into the video, please remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and your family, and stay connected so that we can soar to higher heights. What is an H2B visa and who is it for? The H2B visa is one of the US work visa which allows foreign nationals to come to the United States and work temporarily. If you watch my vlog channel, you will see in my previous video where I was ranting about how I can't be bothered. I wish that we have an employer that could just keep us for the whole 3 years, and so that we don't have to be going up and down and going around. And the reason for this, the reason why we don't have an employer like that is because they have other programs that is for that. That is what the H2B and EB3 is for, right? No, this visa is temporarily. If it wasn't temporarily, right, then there would be no job for us, because most Americans would rather to work a full-time job rather than work a temporary job. It's the reason why they need us, because from time to time you have a higher peak load, and you will hear more on that as we go along in the video. The H2B visa is temporary and for work which is seasonal, one-time, intermittent, or peak load. The US government grants H2B visa to workers needed in the following industry. You have hospitality, cruise ship, construction, resorts and theme park, golf courses, water parks, landscaping, ski resorts, maintenance and janitorial, warehouse, retail store, and my favorite, restaurants and bars, sports and athletics. These industries are sometimes in high demand and therefore need a large workforce to meet such teeming demands. For instance, you know that there's multiple employer that wants people in summer as opposed to winter because they're higher in demand. They need people to work in summer more because what? Americans take more of their time off or their vacation in summer. It's the reason why they're going to need us. Not only that, you have people flying in and out the country to explore certain theme parks, so the demand is going to be higher for workers, and it's the reason why they need us. But before applying, there are certain requirements that both the US employer and the foreign employee must meet in order to apply, which lead me to my next point. To be qualified, firstly, your employer, which is also known as the petitioner, has to prove the following: that there is a shortage in the US-based staff that are qualified, willing, and able to work temporarily. That employing you will not negatively affect the employer benefit of other US-based staff in their establishment. That they have a business physically present in the US. That they have a valid federal employer identification, which is also known as the FEIN, which I call it FIN. I don't know if anyone else do that, but I call it FIN. So if they have that, then they are eligible to apply for the petition. They have to also prove that the needs for you is only temporarily. Your employment is considered temporarily if it is a one-time occurrence, seasonal need, peak load, or intermittent. Now that you know the employer criteria, what is our criteria? We have to have a criteria, right? Because I said it before, we have to prove certain things to be qualified for this H2B program. Now, to be eligible for the H2B visa, you must show that you have an employment offer from a US employer, you intend to return home after your permit expires, you have the skill that your employer need, and you are from an eligible country. Now, at the end, I'm going to show you a list of countries that is eligible to apply for the US visa, and stay tuned for this because many people didn't know that their country are eligible. Even the UK. Can you believe the UK is eligible to apply for this H2B visa so they can leave England, cold, boring England, and come to the United States and work? And don't cuss me when I said boring. I used to live there. It's my perspective, not yours. My next point is employer sponsorship. The bulk of the work to be done when applying for the H2B visa lies on the employer. The first step your employer has to take in this regard is filing for a temporary labor certification, also known as the ETA form 9142B. This petition is made to the Department of Labor. The petitioner files this to prove to the Department of Labor. Remember, I said the petitioner is also your employer. Your employer files this to prove to the Department of Labor that there is a shortage of US-based staff that are qualified, willing, and able to work temporarily. This is usually done by showing the Department of Labor that an advert for the job has been made on the local job listing for 3 weeks and no one has indicated interest or is qualified for the role yet. That employing you will not negatively affect the employment benefits of the other US-based staff in their establishment. To file the ETA form, your employer or the petitioner has to take the following steps. First, they have to register with the Department of Labor between 120 to 150 days before they need you. Now, after registration, they have to file Form ETA application for Prevailing Wage Department (PWD) at least 60 days before it is needed at the National Prevailing Wage Center. File a job order with the State Workforce Agency in charge of the area where the foreign employer would work. Submit the H2B application with necessary supporting documents and a copy of the job order to the Chicago National Processing Center between 75 to 90 days before the employee's start date. After filing, the Department of Labor will review the petition within 7 business days. The certification officer will reject, reduce the duration, or approve the petition. When the ETA form application for temporary employment certification is approved, the employer will now have to file a Form I-129, Petition for Non-Immigrant Workers to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, also known as USCIS. That is what we call as USCIS. Now, these are the steps of filing the H2B petition with the USCIS. Your employer will have to file a Form I-129 for you after ETA form has been approved. When your employer file Form 129 depends on the service center nearest to your employer and primary address. The service center could be in Vermont, Nebraska, Texas, or California Service Center. If your employer or petitioner need you urgently, then they must file a Form I-907 application for a premium process when filing for the I-129. The application must be submitted within 45 to 80 days before the employer needs the employee. Also, the application is made separately for each employee and they are not transferable. It will cost your employer around $460 to file Form I-129. This can be paid via check, money order, credit cards, or cashier checks. This filing fee is non-refundable regardless of the outcome of the application. After the petition for the non-immigrant worker Form 129 is approved, the USCIS will issue the employer Form 1797. This form contains the window for which the employer can hire. This form also tells the employer when the employment will end. The petitioner must abide strictly by these dates, else further application will be denied. Now, this I-797, whenever an employer recruits you and you come up on the program, you should ask the employer for this I-797 just in case you would wanted to do a extension. You would need I-797, and I know that some employers are holding on to this. The reason for this is because some employees, whenever they reach to the employer and they don't like something, they tend to look for a transfer, and because of the losses that the employer incur, some of the employers tend to hold on to the I-797 because they know that you cannot do nothing without that form. So you should always try to ask for it the first thing you do. Sorry for the background, they're cutting the yard. So my next step is the reason why an H2B visa application could be denied. There are several reasons why the US consulate will deny H2B visa application. One of the primary reasons is that there were enough US workers who could and want to do the job. Your visa application can also be denied if the consulate finds that your employer did not make enough attempt to hire US-based employees. Inappropriate and late documentation are also possible cause of visa denial. Therefore, all documents must be filed correctly and at the proper time frame. Application can also be denied if the Department of Labor determines that employing a foreign worker will affect the wage of U.S. employees already in the petitioner business. Again, if a petitioner has broken the rules of the non-immigrant visa before, the chances of the visa denial are high. Even when everything checks out on the end of the petitioner, the U.S. consulate officer can deny your application if they cannot determine if you will return home after your job in the U.S. So this is why most of the visa question will be, oh, what do you have? Do you have any kids? Do you have any house? Do you have any car? Like these stuff. So if they see that you don't have anything ties, like it's not that drastic as the 10-year visa or the B1 visa, right? They will give you a blind. But if they see like any red flags, they will deny your visa. What is the processing time? There are no specific processing time for the H2B visa because it is capped permit. On an average, getting approval may take anywhere from 5 months to even a year, as applications received before years have to be processed first. If your employer wants a faster service, they can pay $2,500 for express service. So for all those employers that say they pay premium package, this is the amount they pay for each employees. So guys, whenever you go to the people in them country, just know that they're spending money for you guys. So can you imagine those big establishments that want 100 people and they're paying premium for you guys? That's a lot. That's a whole heap of money. And this is why you should be on your best behavior. While I understand you have some employers that treat their workers like, yeah, but if they're not, if they're really trying, then do what you have to do so that you can make your life better and then you can make their company better. Now, you don't have to go through this every year because that employer can always remember that, hey, you know, I have Vanessa, she always come and she works and she do her work, or let's recruit her next year. So even when you go back down, you always have an employer that is ready to take you back up if they get their petition approved. Right, so you will always have an employer that is ready to take you back. So be on your best behavior and let's soar. Yes guys, so that is that. I hope I made it clear to you guys, and if you have any questions, you can also drop it in the comments down below. I'll definitely answer. And yes guys, some of these stuff I have to read because I don't remember everything on the top of my head. Right, so it is all on the internet and you can also find it. So even if I don't make it clear, you can also go on Google and type in the processing time, type in the requirements and all those stuff. You will find them. And as I said before, I'm going to put the list of country that is eligible for the H2B visa. So whether you're from Turkey, Mexico, UK, like guys, UK, I am going to try and get my family over here if they want to come on the program. That is it. All right, so whether you're from this country, you can apply for the H2B visa and come over here, work and make your life better, make your family better. And yes, don't be stingy with the information. Share it with your friends and your foes, and let's soar to higher heights. We have come to the end of this video and I hope you have learned something, right? And because I know that there are many information out there on the internet to know about H2B, but you know, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to start from basic and climb upwards, because that's what we're doing. We're starting from the ground and we're going up. So I have to bring this to you. If there's anything that you want me to speak on and give you my point of view, please drop it in the comments down below. And if you have any experience that you would like to share about you going on the program, who helped you or anything. If you don't have to put your face on it or anything, what we can do a call, and you can, where we can go live, and you can just jump on the live and let's talk about H2B. Let it be fun, because gone are the days when we didn't know about H2B. Only certain people know about H2B. Gone are the days, right? And now many people know. We are not gatekeeping anymore. We are here helping our brothers and sisters to come on this program. Friends, enemies, everybody, we are helping to come on this program, because guess what? The world is here for everyone. America is here for everyone. We cannot do all the work that America has. So if we can help someone to soar, that is what we're going to do. So thank you for coming on my channel, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends to tell your other friends, and let's soar to higher heights.